Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Zay Lucas from Boyd State University, majoring in sports management with a concentration of broadcast journalism. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Mr. Pitts, and I just want to know a little bit about you as I am interested in your career path.
Amazing. I appreciate this opportunity for speaking with you.
And thank you for the opportunity. Um, So I looked at your Instagram page. You do real good work. I seen you was into, photography for Boy State and everything else that you got going on. I just wanted to know, how did someone from Pittsburgh come to Maryland?
Oh, wow. So the backstory to that is I ended up moving down here in '96, went to Largo, went to Largo High School. And, that's where my journey began with me moving from Pittsburgh down to here. And, it was a place that it's a transient area, right? And I have so many pathways to whether I want to take a quick trip to Delaware, Philly, New York, New Jersey, Atlanta, North Carolina. So I just fell in love. I mean, I didn't fall in love with everything about it, but I fell in love with it enough to stay and not want to go back.
Man, hey, so it seems to me like you like it here.
I mean, yeah, it has its perks.
Well, what's up with the football team, man? I heard because you're from Pittsburgh, you will obviously like the Pittsburgh Steelers. So what's going on with that, man? I'm a big Commanders fan, so
So, contrary to what Mr. Gerard Hines, who also is a Bowie State alumni, is saying in the chat, I'm not a huge Ravens fan. That's cap. Let's stop that there. Actually, he's speaking blasphemy on my name. But I mean, but listen, I rep my city. Just because I left Pittsburgh don't mean Pittsburgh left me. 412 is in my blood till I go. So everything I rep is Pittsburgh. The Penguins, the Pirates, the Panthers, and the Steelers. We didn't have a basketball team, so I'm a Lakers fan. So, I'm everything when it comes to Pittsburgh. And then when it comes to the football team, like, let's just call it what it is. You know, everybody wants to be that guy, right? And when they want to be that guy, they can't handle the pressure of being that guy. So just like no different than your professor, Dr. Anderson, right? Who's actually in the chat now.
yeah.
Um, you know, listen, if you too can be a Steeler fan, all you gotta do is let us know. We'll get you your badge of honor. You could put all that Commanders, paraphernalia to the
Ah,
side.
no, sir.
So
I
yeah,
can't do
but
that one.
but the journey, is a nice one, right? Because the reason why my goal and my passion for starting everything that I did was when it came to Pitts and Push Sports Talk Radio was because me and Push were both from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and in Pittsburgh, HBCUs were not an opportunity. It wasn't mentioned when colleges came up. We were always told about the Robert Morrises, the Penn States, the Penn States, the Duquesnes, the IUPs, etc. So that's all we knew. But when I moved here, going to Largo High School, my baseball coach, he went to Bowie State and he was an alpha for Bowie. And he used to take me, my first experience of understanding what HBCU was he took me and a couple other guys on campus one day. Blew my mind. Had no knowledge, had no experience of the perception of to compare or contrast it to. So it was eye opening. And for me, the goal was to be a resource and an olive branch for those kids who may not have the same resources to know and understand what an HBCU is, right? So the intent is to bring and highlight what the culture of an HBCU is, right? To bring and highlight the lack of the things and resources that we currently are experiencing when it comes to HBCUs. When you talk about lack of funding, right? Lack of media exposure, or the inconsistencies or the incorrect narrative of what the culture of an HBCU is. That is the purpose. But then also to give opportunities and to be a resource and an olive branch for others, like we highlight Pee Wee football or such as yourself, right? Because if we don't give each other that opportunity, we can't expect it from somebody else. So we have to be 100% willing to invest not only in ourselves but each other, in order for us to really take to the heights of what an HBCU is, what it should be, to new levels.
That's real because when my whole thing with going to Boise State, I wanted to collaborate and be around more people such as ourselves, and I felt like it would be a good opportunity for our type of people to link and make good like I would say good content, just good business, everything else, what I'm saying, together. And you talked a little bit about your sports talk show. I just wanted to know, like, was your target audience like HBCUs? Was it young the youth? Like, what was it?
So the target audience, first and foremost, was HBCU student athletes current, and then those who are coming up, the future of HBCUs, right? But not
Hmm.
to alienate the alumni as well, because with anything that happens, for any fruit to grow, you need the alumni, right? You need them to keep investing and need them to keep showing up on campus and showing the importance of why they chose whichever institution it was that they went to. So the target audience have always been college students first, and then those coming up going to college, and that wasn't does not exceed or limit the youth, meaning pee wee athletes, student athletes, and school age children, to high school, to college, and so forth and so on. The goal and the objective is to highlight, right? And you can't highlight and alienate anyone, because at the end of the day, it's going to take a collective effort from everyone. I don't feel it's too soon to start educating the youth on what an HBCU is and what the culture of an HBCU is, and allowing them to grow with that mindset and do their own research, right? And do their own pros and cons. So by the time they are at that age to get to school, they'll have a better understanding personally versus reading somebody else's thoughts and statements. Because when it comes to the narrative, a lot of times the negative press that we get is from people who didn't attend an HBCU, right? So we have to spin that, and we can't spin it just by criticizing and talking amongst each other. We got to start doing it vocally, out loud, in public, on sites and streams and platforms such as now, to get the word out that HBCUs are here. We're growing, we're gonna be stronger, and not going anywhere.
I understand. I understand everything you're saying because not too long ago for a class, I kind of did my research on HBCUs and PWIs, and when it comes to sports, because you have PWIs that's D1s, and majority people look at them, the D2 schools such as Bowie State, it's not really looked at, or when it comes to being streamed on national television, and all of the rest of the things that D2 schools may not get, such as HBCUs. um I understand why you would push out the show that and the narrative that you want for African American kids to be, just to put it broadly.
Yeah.
um but while trying to pursue your career with your sports talk and everything else that you may have going on when it comes to this type of world, like, what trials have you faced? Like, how hard was it to put everything together, to push out your shows, to get viewers, to build your brand?
Understand. First thing I had to do was I had to come to an unfortunate realization, right? Because the sad part about today's world is that we are attracted to negativity, right? We highlight negativity. So when you see a lot of positive things coming across, it's not appealing, right? Because there's not much clickbait in that. It's, you know, The positive stories don't sell. That's one thing that I've learned early on, and at times was discouraging because um, it's hard to compete in a world full of it, right? So, but the good part about it is when it's something that you firmly believe in and it's something that you feel is your purpose, that fire and that, it never dies. So I had to come with the realization that not everybody's going to support you along your journey. Not everybody's going to see and understand why you chose it. Not everybody's going to see the vision behind it. Not everybody's going to understand it. And I had to come to a real reality that is not for everybody to understand because there's going to be moments where the closest people that you'll expect to support you in it, you know, is always there, right? So you got to learn to be okay with that and still go through and know that as long as you support it, as long as you still believe in it, as long as you still have that drive for it, then it's all good. Like you keep going. I was almost talked out of doing it. Actually, I wasn't almost, I was. This was an idea I had probably 3 years prior to me actually kicking it off and actually, talking to, reaching out because it took a process, right? I reached out to a couple people to see if they would do it with me, family and friends. And,
Right.
they all said no. But, some with good reason couldn't commit to it, etc. So, when I reached out to Push, and I asked him to be a part of it, and he accepted, it was something like, okay, I'm gonna go forward, I'm gonna keep going. But before then, I was talked out of it, by family members, you know, and then after a while, I was like, why not? Why not me? Because the more I sat quiet, the louder the negative or the incorrect um, information was being put out there.
So, what gave you the strength and the motivation to push through it? Although it was a whole lot of back talk, a whole lot of negativity, a whole lot of what if this or what if that? You know what I'm saying? Like, what motivation just gave you? You know what? I don't care what nobody's saying. I don't care about none of the back talk, none of the negativity. This is what I want to do, and I want to do it now. How did you get that strength?
So one, everybody cliches, you say God, like one was my grandma, right? Um, my grandma, when she was here, um, she was like one of my closest confidants. I talked to her about everything, anything, however the conversation. And one day she just told me, it was like the fact that you still talking about it means that you're supposed to be doing it. So you're only stopping yourself. Nobody else is stopping you. Everybody else has an opinion. But the fact that your passion is still so deep now, 3 years later, is something that you should have been doing. But I also look at it too that I think the timing at which I did it was the best. So even though I didn't do it when I initially wanted to, the timing was perfect. And I think in life sometimes timing is everything.
Right, right. So, do you feel successful in what you do?
I don't measure it. I don't measure it in the eye of success. I measure it by the amount of people that I reach. Um, I'm a firm believer that if I reach one, then that means that I've planted a seed, and now all I gotta continue to do is water it, right? So if I measure my success by numbers, and I would say I was unsuccessful, right? But in the matter of it, I believe that it has been a success because um, students look for it. Whether it's at Morgan State, whether it's at Bowie State, whether it's at Robert Morris, like the student athletes look for it. And the reception that I get when I'm on campus from the student athletes is amazing. It's like it's overwhelming. So to them, it matter, and for that, it matters even more for me. So, when you say successful, I feel like it's successful because the target audience receives it. Now, everybody receives it in a different manner, right? Student athletes receive it because it's highlighting them, right? Which is another extension to the school. Um, but I feel that again, the journey is just beginning, right? And but it's expanding. Like look, we've been doing it for 3 years now. Now, have a sponsor with Staples, right? I now also have my own sports show on cable television on Comcast and Verizon called Pitt Sports Zone. I'm also the board of directors for the TV station and the vice president for the TV station. So it has opened up doors and allowed me into rooms that I otherwise wouldn't have been able to get into myself. But the difference is when I walk into these rooms, I don't walk into the rooms feeling like I don't belong. Any room I walk into, I feel like I belong. I don't ever feel, you know, discouraged or scared. It's a matter of me versus everybody else, to the point where I was able to do, how when you watch a BET show or awards, something, and you see the red carpet and you be like, man, like that look fun.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
that
saying?
was me. Yeah.
So for me, last like 2 weeks ago, I was actually fortunate enough to cover my first red carpet event, which was the BET HBCU Honor Awards. And shout out to Michelle Bailey. She's the founder for HBCU Honor Awards, bringing a highlight and more exposure to something that we should have already had, right? But it's never too late, and it's right. Timing is right. So I got to meet a lot of people that I see on TV, right? Whether it's Hezekiah Walker or Fantasia, or if it's Erica Campbell or Yandy Smith from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. It was just the environment, just being able to be in that environment and then get invited to do a BET movie premiere on the following Saturday. And then being able to watch the movie for the first time with the cast, like it was an amazing experience.
So did that like spike you to like just keep going, and even if today might not be a good day when it comes to the numbers, or maybe this deal wasn't successful, whatever the case may be, did that like spike you to keep going, like, okay, I might run into a bumpy road here, but it's always another time there, like.
Yeah, it definitely fueled me. But it fueled me in a way to I looked at it now like now I can really start expanding my resource and now getting it out there even more, right? Now I can expand the audience. Because that's the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is to plant the seed in anybody who comes across the page that HBCUs are here. HBCUs aren't going anywhere. We're strong. The culture is rich. The atmosphere is amazing. The campus life is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like every misconception that has been placed on the HBCU, I'm here to show you why it's incorrect. And one other thing, because a lot of people will point to the obvious, is right when there are mismanagements within HBCUs. Okay, that happened, but it happens at PWIs as well.
Right.
So the importance is to accept the things that may need worked on, because no matter what happens in life, there's always going to be something that you need to work on, right? So our deficiencies is no different than the PWI. The only difference is it's not being reported or it's not
Right.
being highlighted and maximized in the news or the media circuits. So other than that, there's always things that we can clean up to make it better.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, I still wouldn't change it for the world.
Right. Well, with all that being said, what else spikes your interest? Like, what else are you interested to that you may not, show, or you might want to show in the future?
Nah, honestly, it's like these moments right here, right? I get enjoyment out of being able to be a connection and an avenue, like for you, right? For school, and the fact that this is something that you want to do. Why not me, right? It takes is for somebody to give one person an opportunity. So regardless of how many one persons or how many opportunities it is, it always makes it that much more fulfilling, right? Because I could do this all day with so many different individuals, but it's different and it's more gratifying, right? When I get to do it and help you with something that you're trying to strive for, help you, get into your comfort zone, help you to break the the nervousness and be like, you know what, I can do this too.
Right. Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie, this my first time, actually doing something like this, and I feel at first I was a little nervous, and then once we got into the groove of talking, and then you just talking and listening and responding, it's I could do this. I can see myself doing something like this. And this is what it's all about, like I said, I'm glad for this opportunity because now it makes me want to go out and do more interviews. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And before we go, just one last thing. I seen you had some good photography work. Like hey, the pictures is like that, and I have my own Instagram page directed to photography, and um that's what I'm into, sports photography, the whole broadcasting side. I look at I'm gonna use my Commanders for example. I even look at on my free time. I look at analytics of the players,
Yeah.
so I can know what to look for and um what like how if I should be mad this game or if I shouldn't be mad this game based on this player's performance. Like
Yeah, and you know, the more and more you delve into it, the more and more it'll look. You know what? It wasn't as bad as I thought, right? Because for me, when I talk football, I'm coming from a player perspective and a knowledge of like the game or just the love of the game. So for me, when I see a play that didn't work and like, oh man, he should have got that. Well, you know, as one player, you know, football is 80% mental, right? Or I'd say 90% mental. It's one of the things myself and Coach Bernard Clark Jr., he's a head coach at Robert Morris University, it's more of a understanding and knowing what everybody else around them is supposed to be doing, right? So that's the makeup of success and failure when it comes to a play, right? So if we see that, you know, the offense is in the 12 personnel or the offense has, you know, 11 personnel, right? Understanding what that means. Okay, they got two tight end formation, one running back or two running backs, one tight end, you know, whether it's a bunch formation, a split formation, or if the defense is in a cover three, cover two, cover zero, or quarters, umbrella. Like it's knowing and understanding and knowing the gaps of in which that entails. So for me, when I see a play that doesn't work, I don't ultimately just get mad that it didn't work. I'm looking at the other things to see, okay, what were some of the reasons why it didn't work? Execution is one part. That's the mental aspect, right? Because when it comes to sports, no matter what sport it is, your mental preparation is everything. The physical follows up from your mental preparation, right? So now all you're doing is physically going out there and doing everything that you study, right? But that also comes with not only studying your position, also the other 10 people on your team, and then also understanding the defense that you're going against, understanding the defense that you're seeing. So it comes from that perspective. It comes from that depth of understanding that, you know, sometimes I tell people now, I don't argue with people who didn't play football. I'm not about to have that argument with you because
right.
a lot of fans, they see the play and all they see is success and failure. They're not really understanding the depth of maybe why that play was unsuccessful.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
then there was a question from the audience, from Dr. Anderson. Can you give Isaiah advice to pursue this career? I would say if this is really something that you want to do, right? You know, go for it. You know, take every opportunity. No interview is too small. No interview is too big. You know, you got to put yourself out there. It's a lot of time invested into it. It's a lot of preparation. But again, if it's your passion, anything that is a passion for you is something that you don't gotta force yourself to get up. Like it's in you. You'll get to it.
But yeah, this the sports life, the sports industry, everything about the sports derived from my childhood. So this is definitely something that I want to do, something that I want to be involved in because I feel like the community is so strong,
Yeah.
and the aspect of it is just inspiring to me and also inspiring to the career path that I want to take because when I was younger I had dreams of playing basketball in college
Right.
or, becoming a professional athlete. And when I seen that route wasn't so strong for me, I was like, you know what? I'm not just going to give up on sports like that. I want to do something within sports. So when I seen that Boys State was a good, had a good major in sports management, I was like, you know what? That's where I want to be. That's where I want to go. And it's in the DMV, my hometown. Let's do it.
So I would say before you log off, before you end the night though, I want to say again, one, I appreciate you for entrusting me with this opportunity for you. I appreciate you for believing in me to want to do it with me. I know it's not easy, especially when it's your first time and it's your first time and you're going live. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not just you're not just recording it and then playing it and letting people watch it at their own leisure. It's a different environment when it's live because it's out there and you can't get it back,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I just want to say, one, I commend you for stepping out on that, and you did an amazing job, right? And that's those are the moments that are gratifying for me, right? These moments right here, right now. Just like the other day, there was I was on the Instagram live with a parent of a player, a Pee Wee football player. Shout out to Mikey. Mikey plays for Crofton Cardinals, 10U football team, and the excitement that he gets and the excitement that he feels and the like how important he feels like when he see me come out there or when we post him on our page, like that means everything, right? That means that I did the assignment and I was successful at it. That's what makes me keep going. That's the fuel because if I stop, then then what else? Who else is going to pick it up? And who's
Right.
going to do it the way I want it to be done? So, it's all it's I'm telling you, the tunnel is there, but the impact that you make is better. So shout out to you for wanting to do this. And definitely I want you to put all your social media information out there so those individuals can go ahead and follow you as well.
And well, before I do that, hey, I thank you for the opportunity giving me the time to interview you, know a little bit more about your career path and the choices that you made in order to get to this position today. Um, uh, this is good. Um, my Instagram for my photography page, my Instagram is shot by cash dot underscore. And I also have a little hair page. That's just one of my hidden talents that I do. And that's Styles by Zay. So yeah, that's
Look at
everything.
that. You got many trades. You
Yeah.
do hair? You're a hairstylist?
Yeah, I do
See,
like
look at
yeah.
that. Hairstylist, you do photography, you want to get into broadcasting, sports management. Like, listen, you, you, a young lady with many talents. And then
Yeah.
the crazy thing about it is the opportunities that you had with Dr. Anderson. It seems he puts you guys in a great position, and he gives you an exposure that can only benefit you even more. So I said, keep going. And like you said, don't be
Yeah.
satisfied.
Before this is over, I want to give big shout outs to Dr. Anderson at Boyd State University, man. He is good. He is great. He actually, put this together for me to extend out on, and I appreciate the opportunity that y'all both have gave me. Um, this is amazing. Thank you.
Let's get it. Follow shots back cash underscore
Dot underscore. Yep.
dot
Shots by
underscore.
cash.
Let's get it. Show her some love. We out.
All right.